It's top of the hour and it's time for Making a Difference. I am your host, CJ Metcalfe. Welcome to Making a Difference, where we try to make a difference in other people's lives. And today I'm continuing a series on hacks, life hacks, things you can do around the household, things you can do in the kitchen, just things that make our life a little bit easier and utilize some of the utensils that we have around the house. And the first one that I'm going to get into is dealing with egg yolks. Have you ever tried to separate egg yolks? They make a little container, a little gadget that you can crack the egg in and the whites go down around it and everything. I don't know about you, but mine's oftentimes in the back of the drawer and I can't ever find it. But what I do have is empty bottles in my recycle bin. And I'll get you can grab one of those and rinse it out and take your egg and crack it onto a plate. If I end up making a mess here, why do I think I'm going to end up wearing this? I don't know. But anyway, take your bottle, take the cap off of it, and you're going to squeeze the air out of it. And Lord, make this work. See that? It sucked it right up into the bottle. And now what I have is leftover egg whites with no yolk. So you can do whatever you want with it from there. Another thing is, let's say you've got eggshells in your membrane. Every once in a while, that happens. And you take your finger and you run around and try to catch that little booger. And you end up chasing it all over the place because it never gets on your finger. Well, what you can do again is take your egg, but take the shell. Use half of your shell. And what you're going to do is you're going to cut into the membrane and scoop up that shell. The shell is rigid and it's sharp and it will cut through the membrane to grab the little fragment of shell and it puts it in the shell like that. So that's kind of a nice hack. I love that one. Moving clothes. Let's say you've got to move some clothes, and whether you're taking the Goodwill or whether you're relocating, an easy way to move clothes is with them hanging on your rack. Take a trash bag. A kitchen tall trash bag works great, and bunch some together that you want to move and bring that trash bag up around the clothes and use the drawstrings to tie around the hangers. You can transport them all day and they'll stay intact. The hangers won't get tangled and you can take them to your new location. This one is kind of a handy one too. I have to gas my own car. And on a previous show, I told you about finding which side the gas tank's on because I drive several cars and I'm like, what side is the gas tank on? Just look on the dashboard and there where the fuel is, it'll either have the image of a gas pump or it'll have an arrow. And the image of the gas pump, the side the handle's on, is the side your tank is on. Or there will be a little arrow that points to it. Okay, so now we got through that. We figured out what side to pull the car up on. Now we get out and, we want to run in and grab maybe a soda or something like that. And we want the tank to automatically fill. Well, you get around and you get the gas handle, you put it in your tank, and there's no catch mechanism. In other words, you can't walk away from it. It's forcing you to stand there and hold the pump engaged. Well, what you can do is take your gas cap lid, all right, and where that handle is, go ahead and turn it on and push that little metal lever forward. Put your gas cap in there and wedge it between the back of the handle and that little metal wedge. You can walk away. It'll fill. Yeah, that works too, doesn't it? So, let's talk about if you're painting a wall with a brush. You're using a paintbrush. Maybe you're doing touch-ups and you're painting out of the can. Uh-oh. And you wipe the brush against the side of the can and it gets paint all around the rim and it gets to be a mess. Simple fix. Take a large rubber band and put it around the entire can so that the rubber band is halfway in your opening. Take your paintbrush, wipe it against the rubber band. The excess falls right back into the can and it's nice and clean. That works too, doesn't it? Candles. I use sternos and I use different tea candles for various things inside little butter melting dishes and things like that. And sometimes, depending upon the wick or the location of it, it's hard to get in there to light that candle without burning my fingers. So, in a pinch, what you can do is grab a piece of spaghetti and light it and stick it in there, and it'll light your candle for you. Spaghetti burns. It's made mostly of flour, and flour is very explosive. Well, in its raw form. But anyway, nice little hack if you don't have one of those long lighters or something like that available, or you can't even get in there. That spaghetti is going to be nice and thin and you can get it into little spots. Zippers. Do any of us have our favorite pair of jeans where the zipper won't stay up? Ugh. You go around exposing yourself. Well, there's a little hack to be able to wear that favorite pair of jeans and keep the zipper up. Key rings. They're a circular piece of metal that, it's kind of a pain to get the keys on them, but oh well. Get one of those circular key rings and your zipper has a little hole in it. So put that key ring so that it's fastened to that hole. Pull it up, put it over the button of your jeans. Fasten your jeans and your zipper won't come down. That'll sit there and hold it for you. So, yay! No more exposure. Extension cords. If you've got extension cords, I don't know about you, but I tend to throw them in a box and God, you got to get one out and they pull out half a dozen of them. They're all tangled. Well, okay, I've used rubber bands to bind them together. That's okay too. But in storage, the rubber band goes old and it'll break or stick. And take paper towel, the paper that is in paper towels, the roll. You can cut it to size, but take your extension cord, fold it up, and put it down inside that paper towel roll. And you can stack those side by side in a box. And that way you can look in there and see what cord you want. Pulls out easily. You don't have to sit there and undo things. So that's a nice way to store extension cords. If you need to organize cables on your desk, maybe your work area, and nowadays with all these techie gadgets that have to be plugged in, I don't know about your desk, but mine's looking pretty scary. You got to find out what they go to. Well, get some binder clips and take and run your cords through your binder clips. And that way you can pull them out and use them as you want. And the binder clip, take and clip it to your desk or a shelf or your computer screen. I don't know about yours. Mine's pretty flat. But clip these binder clips to something, and your cords will stay nice and neatly organized, and you can pull on them and use them as needed. That's a good one. Yeah. Helps get you organized, right? I love that part. Um, if you've got pan lids, in mine, I open up the drawer and there's all these lids in there, and you're like, oh, and you've got to dig through and try to figure out what size is what, maybe the one you want's on the bottom. Well, if you need extra pan lid storage, a nice little hack is to take towel bars. You can pick those up fairly inexpensive, but they have brackets on them and they protrude out a couple of inches anyway. Mount those to the inside of your cabinet door. And then you can just put your lids in there. And because the lids have knobs on them and the towel racks have a bar, that lid's not going to fall through. And you can sit there and at a glance look at all your pan lids. So that's another one that, boy, that comes in handy, doesn't it? um, Decals. We all have decals that we put on things, and maybe the refrigerator or whatever, and that gummy residue that gets left when you try to take it off. Careful how you use it, but Goo Gone, not goof off, it's Goo Gone. It's a product that you can buy in the store. It has a citric acid base to it, and you can spray that on the area and it actually dissolves that gummy area. And take a paper towel and you can wipe it right off. I took a Brillo pad to my refrigerator one time. I don't need to tell you what happened there, but anyway, when I found Goo Gone, I was like, oh, where were you when I scratched that refrigerator up? Sharpening knives. Let's say you're in the kitchen and you're trying to do something, maybe cut a tomato or something like that, and you've got a knife and it's not sharp, and you've got all this equipment that sharpens knives, but now are you going to have to stop and go and dig out that equipment and sharpen your knife and do all that stuff? There's a quick way to clean that edge up on that knife. Most dishes are ceramic and they have a ring on the bottom side of them. Actually, what that does is as you stack dishes, that polishes the plate below it, oddly enough. But take that ceramic dish, turn it over, and that rough ring that is around on the bottom side, you can take your knife and use it to sharpen your knife up. Bet you didn't know that one. So yeah, it's a quick fix when you don't want to have to fuss with doing it another way. Batteries. Let's talk about batteries. How do you know if a battery is good or not? Well, my husband, he has me put my tongue on 9-volt batteries to see if they're good, and I get zip. There's got to be a better way. So what you can do is take, let's say you got a AA battery and you don't know if it's still good or not. All right. Take it and at a height of 6 inches, drop it onto preferably a counter. Drop it. If it bounces once and falls over, it's still good. If when you drop it and it kind of bounces more than once, throw it out. It's no good. It just kind of stands to reason that a good battery is going to be truthfully like heavier. And so it'll bounce once and fall over. But anyway, that's a quick, easy way to determine if your battery's any good. A hanging shoe rack. Many people use them in their closets to help organize shoes. Well, those things have a lot of purposeful uses. And if you've got a pantry door or a laundry room door or something like that, take that hanging shoe rack and hang it up on the back side of the door and take your bottles of cleaners, Windex, Pledge, 409, whatever you've got, and put them in those shoe holes. There they are, nice and neatly organized. You don't have to fumble through to find what it is you're wanting. They're right there in front of you. What a way to go. I like that. Let's say you got gift wrap. I don't know about your all's gift wrap, but my gift wrap is in a box and it comes unrolled and it gets creases in it and and I've tried rubber bands to put around the gift wrap roll, but again, if I don't use it and in storage, that rubber band, it sticks to the paper and they break and what a pain, right? Remember those paper towel inserts, the actual paper roll itself that is in there? Don't throw those things in the recycle bin. Take them out, cut one side of it, wrap it around that roll of gift wrap. It'll keep it together and you can put it in your box and it all stays together. That's a handy one to have. This one, I hope my husband watches this show because he needs to. And all you men out there, you need to know this. Let's say you're going to maybe hang a heavy picture and you've got to drill a hole for a molly bolt into the wall. I don't know about you all, but whenever my husband drills into my drywall, he gets drywall dust all over the county. It drives me crazy, and I have such a mess to clean up. And then he leaves this pile of on the floor, and I really wish he would find something else to do. Oh, well, he had a solution. Yeah, he told me to go get the shop vac, and hold the shop vac up there while he drills. And I'm like, "Arr." Well, there's a fix. If you've got a paper cup, cut the bottom portion off of the paper cup. Just cut the bottom of it, okay? And take his drill and drill a hole into the bottom of the cup, right where he's going to run the drill. Do you see it? Take your drill. Well, let's say this, I'm going to use a pen for lack of better equipment here. So take your drill, go in there, put it through the hole, like that. Put it up against the wall, drill away, okay? Scoop it up, and it'll all be in the cup. Yay. Now, I'm happy. I don't have a mess to clean up. Guys, remember that one, okay? That's a handy one. When pouring liquid from one container to another, you know how, or a glass, whatever, if you're pouring something into another container, have you ever had it run down the bottom and go all over the counter or whatever? Well, whatever you're pouring, the secret is do not pour more than half of a container full. If it's more than half full, it's going to run down the bottom. It has to do with geometry and the level of the water or the fluid, whatever. But if it's half full, you should be able to transfer it to another container without it running down the side. If you've got mold in your bathroom, around in your grout, or your tile or something like that, and you're fighting it, a good thing to do is to use half a cup of bleach with a quarter cup of baking soda. Mix that up. Use a toothbrush to apply it to the area where the mold is. the interaction of the chemicals of the baking soda and the bleach will get down in there and kind of prevent an antibacterial layer, and it'll kill that mold. And then all you need to do is just rinse it off. But you can go spend your money on all the cleaners and everything, and this works just as well. If you have sheet sets that you like to keep together, when you get them out of the laundry, fold them all up and put them inside a pillowcase and put them in your laundry closet. That way, your sheet sets will always stay together. If you have screens on your house that are dirty and it's a problem to remove those screens to wash them off, take a lint roller and you can roll the lint roller over the screen and it'll pull off a lot of debris that's on your screens. Door latches. If you've got a door latch that you don't want closed, you don't want the door to close, take rubber bands and you're going to wrap them around each side of the door on the knobs, and you're going to crisscross it right where that latch mechanism pokes out. It'll keep that from poking out and your door won't shut on you. I mean, it won't latch. That's horrible when you've got your hands full of stuff and you've got to deal with a door. Let's say you're somewhere and you want to talk to people on your cell phone, and maybe you're at a picnic table and you don't have anything to hold your cell phone. Take your sunglasses off and just kind of fold them gently and set your cell phone in the sunglasses. It'll hold them upright while you continue your conversation. Fun things. There are just so many hacks and things that you can do that are so worthwhile. I hope you all enjoyed the show. If you have any comments, you're more than welcome to email me at cjkdwradio@gmail.com. And I'll be happy to help answer anything further on that. Or maybe you have some hacks that work for you. Drop me a line. Until then, we'll see you next week on Making a Difference. I thank you for tuning in, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye bye.